We're at White Creek. We're about 300 feet upstream from where it enters the lake on the southeast corner of Big Green Lake. White Creek is rated as an exceptional water resource by the DNR, which is kind of interesting because it's also one of the biggest polluters per acre. There's actually two branches to White Creek. One crosses under Highway A just before you climb the big hill there. That's actually the main White Creek where it has good water quality. The other branch heads up the hill through the ravine, and that area is one of our most intense ag areas in the county, where they grow a lot of green beans, peas, sweet corn, crops that require a lot of intensive cultivation and management, which leads to excessive soil erosion. So even today you can see the stream's running pretty clear, but later in the summer it'll start to carry more sediment loads, maybe turn a little greener in here. The biggest problem occurs during the rainfall events, is when the big rain comes off the field and carries all that sediment with it. So this stream will turn from a nice babbling brook into kind of a dirty, raging stream. Once you get phosphorus and nitrogen into a lake system, something's going to grow, either native plants, invasive plants, or else different forms of algae. So if you don't have a good plant population and you have excess nutrients coming into the lake, you're going to end up with kind of a green, scummy water at some point. Over the past 15 years, Green Lake County Land Conservation, along with its partners, the Sanitary District and the Green Lake Association, has worked on educating farmers in the area and installing hundreds of thousands of dollars of conservation practices, ranging from terraces in the cornfields to sediment basins, grassed waterways, and a variety of other practices to hold the soil back and keep it on the fields. So we look at where that water is moving across the field. Is there an opportunity to put in a grass waterway to carry that to prevent it from eroding? Can we put in a sediment basin at the bottom that will kind of capture that water and let the sediment stay in that pond and let the clearer water flow out? The problem is some of those things are really expensive, anywhere from a couple $1,000s up to maybe $50,000 or $60,000 for a project. So what we can do is we can cost share from different public sources up to 70%. And a unique situation on this watershed is that we have agreements up to 100% cost share. In exchange for that, the landowners agree to keep it in place for 100 years and maintain that practice. White Creek has been a great success story. 20 years ago, this is one of the biggest polluters per acre, just dumped tons and tons of soil into the lake every year. Through the last 15, 20 years of installing conservation practices, we've reduced sediment loads by probably about 75% coming through this stream. White Creek does flow into the main body of water of Big Green Lake in the southeast corner, which there's a lot of houses around the area too, so there can be some conflicts with sediment loads being deposited right in that mouth and kind of filling in front of people's docks. A lot of people kind of think that farmers and the lake residents are at odds, but we've spoken with several farmers in the area and they grew up here. They love Big Green Lake. They love the water quality. They really do care, but they do have a business to run, and they try to run it the best they can. At the same location here, I'm also standing on a part of the Sanitary District's sewer system that surrounds most of Big Green Lake. This takes household waste from your toilet and bath and takes it to a treatment center at the Green Lake Sanitary District. Prior to this being installed a couple decades ago, your sewage just went into a septic field in the front of your house, which many were failing around the lake, adding excess nutrients to Big Green Lake. If we can correct one situation that's adding one load to the lake, it doesn't matter if it's from an ag field or from a home, we're going to take that into account and reduce that impact. The majority of the lake is now on sanitary sewer. There are small sections still that aren't completed at this date. There's upwards of 2,000 homes on the lake, so if you can imagine 2,000 septic systems that could potentially add nutrients to Big Green Lake, this sanitary system is a huge benefit to the area.